Hey guys, and welcome back to Future of Golf. I'm Rob, and in today's video I'm going to talk about elevation, about slope, and basically this means that the pin could be something like 20-30 feet below my ball position, and then of course I have to calculate what kind of club should I use. Should I club up or should I club down? I'm going to answer all these questions in this video. And right now I'm standing here in the Pro T Simulator to first start off with showing you some shots and the average yardage, you could say, and then we're gonna go later on in the video into one of my favorite maps where I practice the elevation. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Way too hard, go in, go in! Yes! Oh my. This was very, very important. So I start off here now with first showing you this Pro T Simulator within the game, where I want to practice a couple of shots and see the average yardage that they're going to get. And then we're going to go into the map. And now we are just thinking towards making a couple of shots around the 60 miles clubhead speed mark and just see where they go. And of course, I'm going to focus on the clubhead, right? So if it's closed, if it's too open, this is going to impact the length of the shot quite a bit, and I try to make as stable shots as I can. And yeah, let's see the yardage that I'm getting here, and we only count the carry distance, not the total distance, just to figure out where the ball is coming down. And yeah, let's just dive into that. Okay, so here you can see that a 63, and this was a 64 miles shot. And it went 63 yards. Okay, 66 and the speed was 65. So kind of right now we are getting numbers where basically the carry distance is, let's say I have 63 miles clubhead speed, I get 63 yards, and so on and so forth. Let's see if that theory here works. Was a little bit more powerful, 70. Yeah, 73, right? We hear this sound when the ball came down to the fairway. That was a nice one there. 56 and 55, there you go. Okay, one last, and then we're gonna change something. Now that one, I went a little bit under it. So I'm gonna go far, yeah, 50 only, 56, but that was because the face was open a bit. So I would say, yeah, let's just say that the clubhead speed equals the yardage, the carry distance here for my sand wedge. And now what we do is, you can see there's zero wind, right? We're playing, the wind is, it's kind of downwind, but there's nothing going on. And right now we're just gonna put the wind now to the maximum, right? So now we have, let's quickly go this here north. So yeah, now we play downwind, 22 miles, that's the maximum wind that we can get in the game. And just see if that would change something in this shorter shots, right? This 60-yard shot here. So I'm gonna just make the same couple of shots and we get an average distance for the wind. You can see here it comes down 64, I think. Right, so it went just a little bit more, like 3 yards more. In this one I hit quite decent, but it was 59. I would say that, like in some shots, especially when the shots are going a little bit higher, then the wind definitely impacts the yardage by like 3 to 10 yards or something. We can as well experiment around with play into the wind. And then you can see here now, I plan now into the wind 22 miles. This for sure gonna affect the yardage quite a bit, because usually these little sand wedge shots, 60-yard shots, are pretty high. And then the wind should hold them back. Let's just see if that is true. Right, if the wind is blocking them, and it seems like they're dropping, yeah. So there you can see clearly, right, 56, 47, that playing into the wind in these little chip scenarios has a way bigger impact There again, right? Yeah, it doesn't even carry. Okay, 53, 62. Alright, so once the ball gets too high, yeah, it just drops out of the sky, 60, 51. So here we can clearly see that there's a 10-yard difference from what we normally get, right? 60 miles should equal 60 yardage, but yeah, it doesn't do it here. While when we play downwind, yeah, we maybe got like 1-2 yards in some cases, but for the most part, playing downwind gonna for sure have a bigger impact on the bigger clubs, right? Like driver, woods, and all these things. You can definitely then get some extra yards out of that. But yeah, so we can definitely say that, like if it's not like a lot into the wind, right? We can make something like this here just to experiment. Let's say we have something, a normal wind condition. Let's say 5 miles, we play into the wind 5 miles. Does this still now impact the 60 yards that we are looking for with the 60 miles? I don't know. So I'm probably a bit too powerful. We can see 62, 63, okay. But you can clearly see that there was, especially by when we played heavily into the wind, especially then there was something going on. So now we know that our average yardage is around the 60 yards when we hit the 60 clubhead speed, 60 miles clubhead speed. And now we're going to go into that map that I have prepared to think about the elevation and what it actually then does in these shots. So yeah, stay tuned and we'll figure it out. To go into this map now, we're going to open here the settings or the menu, and we're going to go into the like favorite maps here. You can as well search it in the all maps, right? I have it in favorites somewhere. So I think it's here, yeah, Top Golf, right? So you're just going to search Top Golf when you go to the all maps. And this is a little 9-hole course here. So now we are here on the Top Golf map, and we can see that on the first hole, it actually goes 38 feet down, right? The pin is 38 feet lower here than for where we are standing. And this means if you convert that into yards, right, you could definitely say that this is, 13 yards. And what I usually do, though, is that with clubs that have a high apex, like the wedges that I was just practicing with, they are going to use something like 25% of the number of the feet, right? So in this case, it would be something like 10 feet, basically. Where if I have a club that has a lower apex, like the irons specifically, especially something like maybe the 8 iron or 7 iron and downwards, I would use more towards or getting closer to that 50% number, right? So you could say maybe here we have like 20%, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and so on and so forth, just kind of to have like a little feeling of that number. And since we're going to use this number here, right, so we can say like 20 or 25% here, so this would be exactly 10 feet, and we could now say, okay, for me it would be probably going 10 yards longer than the shots that we just made in the Pro-T simulator. And let's see if that works out here. So we knew that the number is very close to that clubhead speed. So now it's just hit around the 60 miles clubhead speed and see where this ball actually carries to. So let's line up correct and see. The close face there, 66, 86, right? So this was even, because of the closed face, was even 20 more, right? From 66 to 86. But we're just going to take here another ball off our back. Going to go again. We're going to hit a couple of shots, right? To kind of get a feeling for this. Trying to have the club face straight. And see what we are getting out of here. This one sound good, 65, 86 again, right? So 20 yards here in this case. Again, just gonna hit a couple, just put it back here. I think the last one, by the way, here, closed face again. You see that, right? So the face was closed. What I want to do is to have the face like that, a little bit more at least. So I have to really try to come a little bit more under the ball. Yeah, this one wasn't hit. This was too much under the ball. We see 66 though, but it probably will not go as far as the other ones. It went 73 instead of the 86, right? The club face was definitely pretty straight though. I really need to hit, like, see here, definitely to hit, yeah, a couple of more to get some numbers here going. Yeah, this one sounds pretty good. 63, 78, right? So there we saw it was around 15 more. And now one last here. So it's probably interesting, okay. Oh. 74, right? 74, 62. And yeah, just rolls here, you can see on the green. So now we saw a couple of numbers, right? So we started off with 2 balls that were like 20 yards longer. And then we had a couple of them that were maybe 15 yards longer. But I want you guys to see something. If you look here, the wind, and actually in the start especially, the wind was pretty much downhill, right? With 9.7 miles even. And since we tested that in the Pro T simulator there, it actually got us a couple of yards more, right? And especially the longer the shot's gonna be, the longer they're gonna be in the wind, the more yards the wind actually gonna put on them. And therefore it makes a couple of sense. Even though I was expecting maybe like 10, 11-ish yards more, we got on average now maybe something like 14, 15 yards more in our shots. Maybe even more than that. And yeah, it's definitely very good to see. Even the last shot here, 62, and it came down like 67 or something, or 68, was just a bit more, and this is interesting, but I think I came pretty much, like with a super straight face here. We can see that in the replay. I came a little bit below the ball maybe, and yeah, it's definitely way straighter than the first 2 balls. So I would say that my logic, right, if you use this, let's say 20% here with the clubs, right, 20%, 25, 30, 35, and so on and so forth of that number of the feet is a pretty good number to calculate. And I know that in real life golf it's a little bit different, and you can make like real like equations about it and so on and so forth. But I want to give more like something a little simple-ish kind of idea here. And yeah, let's try to make this putt and move on to a couple of more holes, and then I will just talk about what's going through my mind and why I choose these clubs, using the wind and using the elevation to my advantage there. So I think it was good speed, right? We're pin high, but went way more right to left. Probably this goes a bit left to right here. Played a little bit left center there, you can see, but it went straight. So now next hole is 109 yards and 20 feet, right? So that now we have to think again, okay, 20 feet, what kind of club do I usually use for this distance? So I would usually use here maybe to land it. See, where's the hole? Oh, it's this one, okay. So there's a bunker in the way, so I want to rather land it kind of pin high or maybe like 5 yards short. So I would probably either choke down on a sand wedge or hit a full lob wedge. The full lob wedge goes like 95 though, so I'm pretty often in the bunkers. And if I hit like a choke down sand wedge, it might go like 105 or so. So let's say the choke down sand wedge is going to be the club that I'm using. But now I have to rethink, okay? So the wind goes right to left, 7 miles. So we play just a bit into the wind, right? But not really much. So it's got to push the ball to the right though. As well, we have this 20 feet, right? So if I choose now the sandwich, and the sandwich had like 25% of that number, which is 5 yards, I definitely going to hit 5 yards more, right? So if I just choke down the sandwich and get like a 105 yard shot, it would now go probably 110. So I would well overshoot it. So if I take a full lob wedge though, which goes like 95, and there we have maybe like 4 or 5 yards more, it goes 100, this could actually be a quite decent number. But we can see here the yards from hitting it, let's say here to the pin, we have like 5 yards, so we're definitely going to be somewhere a little bit close to, in the bunker. So we have to deal with the sandwich. This is kind of what goes through my mind. So now I'm just trying to hit a shot. Wind is off the right now. That goes like this line here, right? So where the bunker basically is, or where the bunker ends, like somewhere here, right of that pin. So I'm going to try to hit just almost a full one, but give it maybe like 80 miles, right? Like a full one would be more like towards 90. So I'd really try to hit like 80, 75, and maybe it's going to be good, maybe it's going to be even short then. But yeah, pro difficulty is very tough here in order to make these shots work. But yeah, let's see if my choice is a correct one. Okay, so we have 73, so this will be for sure short. We can see that, right? Because it wasn't the right speed. I needed at least 10 miles more probably in this neighborhood. And yeah, therefore we are ending up here. But the beauty is, of course, we can repeat the shot just to see if that strategy I'm using here would make some sense. Right, we're aiming for this 105. Let's see, the wind is still off the right. We're aiming for this 105 yard shot now. Let's see, with around 80 miles or 85 miles clubhead speed. This is better, 81, 100%, so this should definitely be the club, and let's see. Boom, right? So 110 came down because it was just hit to a little bit too clean maybe. Now that's a pretty good shot from there. And yeah, with the logic that I then used, pretty much, yeah, I made the right choice. Where usually if I just look at the number, I see 109, I would probably more often pick the Lob Wedge. But yeah, it was only 20 feet lower here. Let's try to make a putt. It goes right to left, so I'm gonna try to play like this. Yeah, scared the hole there. Slipped out a bit. And now moving on to the next one. And the cool thing about this map is that it just moves on to like further and further away with all the time different yeah, like elevations. And here in this case, in different wind. Here in this case, let me quickly see where the hole is. 130, so it must be like this one. Yeah, 130, this one. So you can see here the wind is now a little bit downhill almost, but it comes from the right still 8 miles, and it's 28 feet. So the usual club here that I'm using for this distance would be probably a little bit choked on P-wedge, right? So the P-wedge goes like 130, 125, so I want to land it like 120, right? So put it like 95 maybe speed into it. In terms of club head speed, this would be maybe 87 club head speed. To get it there, but now we have to calculate with the wind. So the downwindness, just a hair downwind though, you can see, probably adds like 1 yard. And then this 28, right, the elevation adds, in this kind of case here, if I take maybe something like 30%, would add something like, yeah, we could say like 9 yards, right? So my P-wedge that I usually hit, 130, goes now 140. But if I take now the sand wedge here and add something like 7 yards to the full shot, it would actually go like 120 plus the downwindness. And even here I can land it probably even 115, right? So I'm again here picking for this distance, where usually you would easily pick the pitching wedge. Now picking the sand wedge based on all these numbers, hitting a pretty good solid shot, and then probably with all that slope and everything gonna get there. Let's see. Well, this pull is pulled, unfortunately, in 83, so we didn't even got the full distance, but you can see even, yeah, so 130, well over it, right? So landed here, probably the carry distance total was something like, yeah, 122. But yeah, as well, because of the pulled, a little bit closed club face, could be a little bit longer, but still, yeah, it was pretty much the right club, and the lob wedge would be a little bit too short for this. Let's try to get this up and down here. We played up there, maybe a little flopper shot. Let's see. That's pretty much like open face, so yeah, it wasn't great. But we have a look here at the par. Probably what I can see, I'm not really focusing on just trying to play fast, but I see a little bit right to left, so let's see if we can get the speed right. Oh, that was too much, I pushed it for sure. At least the speed was good, so that's a box, but it is what it is. And yeah, next hole, 152, right? So again, this time it's completely downwind. 152 and the 38 feet. So 152, usually my club would be maybe a 9 iron here. That goes 145, right? And then kind of getting close to the pin there. But now with the downwind, I can probably add, at least, if I have, let's say, a pitching wedge here, I can at least add something like 5 yards for the wind, and the pitching wedge goes 130, right? Then with the feet here, like 38 feet, it probably goes, yeah, like maybe 12 yards longer, right? So not just 10 with the sand wedge, like the pitching wedge, because it goes like a little bit lower apex now, probably 12 yards longer. So we have like 22 yards longer, which is actually a 152 yard shot with the P wedge instead of the 130 that we're getting. So yeah, let's just make this. And probably it's going to be long, right? So I could even take a sand wedge and really try to bump it to get it there. But right now, I think if I just hit a full P wedge, it might going to go this 145, 150, 155 yard distance. So let's see if that one would be the right choice here. And we can see, right, a nice flight there. Let's go close here. 97, okay, that's a bit too much even, but okay, it went 163. So that's because of the extra power that I put. But you can see like 150, 155, 163 is not so far off. And actually, it was the club, even as I said in the start, even a little bit too much club. And it's probably better even to take a sandwich from there. And now we have this very tough up and down here. Kind of get behind the ball a bit, almost like a flop shot. Try to close the face this time though, and let's see if we can get it there. Yeah, that was long, but pretty good strike still. And now we just chip it here, taking my sand wedge, trying to just chip it there, close to the pin. Oh, that was fortunately a bit too much. Actually, no, it works out. So kind of slow greens and getting away here with the bogey after the tee shot, of course, is great. And now I don't want to make the video too long. I'm just going to play one or two more. But it's getting more and more interesting because now we have this 177 yards, 35 feet down, right? So what goes now through our mind? Wind is like right to left. And the pin, is it this one over there? Like, no, it's not this one. See, I'm here. There's one here, there's one here, and there's one here. It's probably this one. Let's quickly see the bunker distance there. 200. Okay, it's this one. Yeah, it's this one here. It's a little bit confusing because you see all these flags and you're not quite sure where, but yeah, it's definitely this one here. So now, what goes through my mind? So the normal club to get it there would be now clearly the 7, right? So if I take the 7 though, and I make my math, so okay, we play right to left, wind, a little bit downwind, 35 feet, and now it's almost like 40-50% of that, so it probably adds, yeah, like 15 to 16, 17-ish yards. It would easily then go maybe 190, right? So that's way too much club. So I really have to think now. 177 with this elevation and this wind. What if I play a shot that goes 145, like a 9-iron, right? And then the 9-iron probably takes like 12 yards more. So now it goes like 145, goes 157-ish. With the wind, gonna push it here. Yeah, it's just not enough. So I'm gonna take an 8, right? The 8 goes like 165, and they're gonna have an extra, like 10, 13 yards, 14, 15 yards even. I think that's the right club here. So not like almost a full, not quite full, but almost a full 8-iron, right? Normal carry distance, 160, 155, 160. Now the target is 177. But with all the elevation and the wind and everything, aiming right at it because the wind pushes it right to left, probably gonna be the right club. So let's see if that is correct. I skipped forward a bit because I had 2 shots where I had the face opened, so they sliced a bit. Really have to try to kind of figure out now to make a good hit here. We're looking for like 95 to 100 miles speed with, yeah, like pretty straight club face. Let's figure it out. And this is a bit, yeah, this is short. You can see that, right? Let's still see where this ball goes. So we can see, okay, carry was like 155 and it rolls pretty close to the target, but that's not what we wanted, right? Let's go back here to take another mulligan. But you can imagine that this same shot now that went 155 with just the 84 miles, where it usually would maybe go like 140 or so. Definitely if we now hit the good one with around 95 speed, actually that is 6-iron that I'm having. Just saw it based on the club head. Okay, let's see. I think this is definitely something in the 90s. Yeah, 91, 98. So this could be interesting. Let's see. Boom, 77, right? So there you can see that definitely the math worked out. Yes, we pushed it. But when we take a look at the swing here, the analyzer, let's go from this side, right? So you can see it was a quite decent one. Let's go actually move it here. So you can see it in first person view. And here, we look down now to the target line, right? We aimed right off the target, and the wind, you can see it here, like pushed the ball a little bit to the left even, but it was pretty much a straight, perfect club face, right? This is how we want to hit it. You can see it here on the ground. And then exactly put this distance out, where usually it goes like 160 there, 155, now it went 177, and this was exactly the target. So anyway, I don't want to make the video too long, and I hope that you kind of understood this rule, what I'm using here, right, with this percentages of the feet. And yeah, without making this video too long, I just wish you a nice day, and I hope you can use this kind of, yeah, like tips that I'm making here in these videos in order to improve your game. And yeah, wish you a wonderful day.